power moves in the power dimension. One thing I thought about was some sort of motion like this. Anyway, but somehow, so the power dimension pushes off these circles. And those circles are what we call neutrinos. And then those circles create a line of motion. I don't know. I'm a little confused about this. But the neutrinos spiral off at almost an angle. This is my current hypothesis anyway. I'm sorry, you guys, but and they continue. So neutrinos turn into muons, which turn into taus. Now, currently in physics, they say that after turning into a tau, it turns back, into the cycle and turns back into a neutrino. I think actually that it just continues, and there's other particles we don't know about. You can call them, whatever, Fs, but that neutrinos are continuing, creating the dimensional lattice with the power from the power dimension. And then neutrinos are coming off to create other things. So neutrinos will create electrons, quarks, neutrino electrons anyway, will create regular electrons, quarks, which of course quarks make protons and all other types of things. And then the muon will create its own class of particles. Tau will create its own class of so within the neutrino you get the 0 dimension, the first dimension, electrons, the second dimension, down quarks, third dimension, up quarks / photons. Then you get into the fourth dimension. I'm not sure, so I have some stuff I need to come back and rework with that. But anyway, another analogous for the fourth dimension is atoms. So you can say atoms, which is an electron and at least 3 quarks, because you got an electron and a proton, right? And then that atom, so let's say the fourth dimension is an atom. I don't know if I'm, this is a bunch of terrible sketches at this point. What's the power dimension? The power dimension is my hypothesis of what sits at oh my gosh, let me draw another sketch. So the power dimension would be the first of dimensions. And then you get into the 0 dimension, first dimension, second dimension, third dimension. So my hypothesis, the power dimension explains, one, all the power in the universe, and also antimatter, and how antimatter functions. Fourth dimension. And so in the fourth dimension, you get maybe, right now my hypothesis says the Higgs, and then you also get atoms. Now, let's get into the fifth dimension. So it would be an accumulation of the fourth dimension, or some sort of string of fourth dimension that would create phonons. And see, we know that because in our case, observable phonons, actually this makes sense with what they're saying. I thought it was a little bit different. But currently we use phonons to describe quantized vibrations in crystal lattice. What is a crystal lattice? A crystal lattice is very fascinating because it's fifth dimensional, kind of. It's just on the edge of fifth dimension because it deals with molecules, but it's really more atomic based. So it's like when atoms can get together in molecules, but it's all one atom, all one element, and they're able to organize themselves in specific ways. Then we can observe phonons. I'm saying that phonons exist. Yeah, that's kind of the beginning of phonons, but they progress from there. So I'm actually not disagreeing with what they're saying over here.